This is a bit of a difficult story for me to tell. Other than my story that I had written a number of years back about the White House, which is being investigated by the Justice Department right now, this was probably the worst beating I ever took. A very unnecessary beating. I don't tell these stories because I want somebody to feel sorry for me or because I understand that things that happened in the past cannot be changed. The point of my stories is to make sure that there's a record, to make sure that these types of things never repeat themselves ever again in an institution, that no child has to suffer as we children suffered at the Children's Home Society Orphanage in Jacksonville, Florida. The name of this story is Freedom Can Sometimes Be a Private Thing. "Where's Kaiser?" yelled the matron to one of the boys who lived in the orphanage with me. "I don't know, ma'am. He was here just a minute ago," he answered. "Kaiser, where's your ugly little ass?" she screamed at the top of her voice. I felt a little sick that day after eating my breakfast. I was sitting on the toilet because my stomach was not right and it was hurting really badly. "Kaiser, where you at?" I'm right here, Miss Ma'am, in the bathroom," I hollered. Within seconds, the matron entered the bathroom and stood directly in front of me. I looked down at the floor, embarrassed. I never did like anyone to see me sitting on the toilet. To me, there was always something real personal about having to use the bathroom. That was always a very private thing. The matron stood there, her arms upon her hips, towering above me like a large city skyscraper. I'm sorry I didn't ask ma'am to use the bathroom this time, but I was hurting real bad in my stomach, and I didn't know if I could really use it or not for sure. That's why I didn't ask. I'm sorry." I placed my hand in front of me so that nothing private would show, because she was a lady. "You get up right now, you little bastard," she demanded through gritted teeth. "I'm really sorry I didn't ask permission. Really I am," I told her. She reached out, grabbed me by the arm, and jerked me off the toilet. I tried as best I could to cover myself. My little short pants fell all the way down to the floor. About that time, the worst thing that could possibly happen did. I had an accident on myself. "Don't you move, young man," she yelled in a slow, drawn-out manner as she turned to head towards the door. "Ought to take you out back and cut your goddamn throat." I just stood there shaking. I will never forget how embarrassed I was that day. I stood there afraid to move a muscle. Very slowly, I reached over and I pulled off a line of toilet paper to cover myself in the front. I didn't try to clean myself, for I was afraid to move. I looked up and I saw my naked self in the large bathroom mirror, and I started to cry. I just couldn't quit shaking. When she returned, she beat the holy hell out of me for more than 15 minutes with a sandpaper bolo paddle. She beat me all the way around the toilets, from one toilet to another. In the shower, she beat me in the face and the back and the legs. I was totally bloody. There was feces everywhere. I spent the rest of the day laying on the floor trying to clean up the terrible mess that was made in that bathroom because of that beating. Almost 60 years later, I've never forgotten what I saw that day in the mirror. An innocent little 7-year-old boy who was almost naked, his pants down around his ankles, and he was afraid to move a muscle. I will never forget what it felt like for an innocent little child to have to ask permission to use the bathroom or to get a drink of water. Many people associate freedom with different types of things. But there are those of us, many are abused children, who as adults appreciate freedom because they have been given the right that most people take for granted almost every single day. They never even think about it. That something is having the right to get a drink of water or to use the bathroom in private without having to ask someone's permission. Oh, what a wonderful feeling that is.